Do the research. Ask questions.
Be curious.
Those who can imagine anything could create the impossible.
Hello, welcome everyone. It's so great to see so many people here today. So our topic for today is AI challenges and opportunities. As we all know, AI has an enormous transformational potential in the telecoms industry. It offers opportunities ranging from network optimization, efficiency, enhanced security, personalized services, intelligent customer care. But it also brings with it a number of challenges. How will operators integrate AI systems into their networks, especially legacy networks? What type of standardization may be required? What type of additional workload will AI bring to our networks? And how will operators be able to leverage AI when it comes to digital services? So we have a very exciting lineup today to speak about these things. We have speakers and a panel, and we'll be starting with 3 short presentations. So we will end the presentation section with our last speaker for today. That is Joe Butler, the CTO of Digital Catapult. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, everybody. Thank you to the organisers for inviting me here today. I'm Joe. I've got a background in AI, but also in policy and also in regulation, and I'm going to focus on some of those points for the talk today. I'm from a national technology organisation in the UK called Digital Catapult. We partner with government, industry and academia to focus on significant challenges and opportunities facing the UK economy, particularly where deep tech plays a major role. So AI has enormous transformative potential in the telecom sector over the next few years. AI has actually, at least in my view, made relatively modest headway in the telecom supply chain to date. It's been quite slow relative to other sectors historically to this point, but I think this is really set to change. The pace of AI, research, development, innovation, productization is really quite eye-wateringly fast, as we all know at this point. And so while ChatGPT brought the potential of AI to the public view a few years ago, its impact has remained somewhat muted in some sectors like telecoms. However, AI is now multimodal. It's not just language, it's vision, it's audio. AI is incredibly easy now to fine-tune and to exploit private and very specific data sets for specific tasks. And there's also the quite radical promise of early reasoning and agentic systems. So I think all of these developments result in AI that is radically easier to adopt and easier to deploy and more general in its capabilities. So I think this could enable AI to penetrate every area of the telecoms supply chain, from RAN to network optimization through to customer interaction. And there's a potential for it, therefore, to go from relatively modest penetration to really very substantial penetration in the next few years. So governments, regulators and the telecoms industry have really long recognized the critical importance of communication network infrastructure. In the AI-enabled, cloud-connected world, the underlying critical national infrastructure becomes even more vital. It doesn't just underpin our national networks, but increasingly, it underpins our transport infrastructure, our healthcare institutions, our national supply chains, and our defense. So how do we build a future with implicit trust built in along the journey in the face of really quite rapid and potentially disruptive uptake of AI into the infrastructure. There's many challenges in this. Uncertainties about how the technological capabilities will evolve and play out, how to manage risks, integration, security, governance, transparency. And AI platforms, as we know, can suffer from complex design and implementation failures. Furthermore, as we know, telecoms networks themselves are a huge attack vector to the systems that they underpin. So whether that's health services, financial services, whether it's energy or our national utilities, it becomes an attack vector to those actual overlying services. And finally, I don't think we can assume that AI is going to be entering the telecoms networks purely from trusted vendors and operators. It's going to be startups, it's going to be third parties, it's going to be enabled by open operating systems, open systems like Open RAN. So clearly the sector recognizes a lot of the issues faced with adoption of AI into the telecom sector. Standards and industry bodies like ETSI, the O-RAN Alliance, and 3GPP are all developing frameworks looking towards AI and AI native telco. So initiatives obviously focus on different aspects. The AI RAN Alliance is focusing on the radio access network to optimize network performance and unlock new capabilities there. The global Telco AI Alliance has got much more of a focus on applications across the entire spectrum of telecom services. And 3GPP are addressing AI in various domains, including management, orchestration, and RAN intelligence. So these are all crucial steps for AI, I think, to emerge and in a managed cross-industry manner. But they do have a primary focus on efficiency and performance. Telecoms itself is obviously inherently an international sector with global standards, spectrum harmonization, and economies of scale that enable innovation. So internationally, government bodies and regulators are beginning to address AI security, resilience, and trust in the telecom sector specifically. Recently, for example, the Global Coalition on Telecommunications between US, UK, Australia, Canada, and Japan released a statement focusing on some of these key issues, including security, resilience, transparency, and explainability. 5G Americas published an excellent paper in January looking at advances in trust and security in wireless networks in the age of AI. But existing frameworks are still relatively in their infancy, and sometimes, at least in part, at quite high level at this stage in proceedings. So how does the ecosystem, comprising vendors, operators, regulators, and governments, acquire confidence to certify deployments of AI technologies and telecoms networks in a way that is safe, reliable, and trustworthy, importantly, without stifling or impeding innovation? It's not clear if the market can or will fully provide the necessary degree of AI verification alone, or whether it will do this on a sufficiently timely basis, or whether AI and telecoms will really need some extra support from regulators or government to get that degree of trust and verification. So while there's clearly emerging frameworks and progress on a number of fronts, there remains much to be done. So we at Digital Catapult believe that AI verification and validation in particular is a really important aspect that requires further focus and further development. And we're intending to work with partners in the UK and internationally to support the building out of trusted AI telecoms frameworks. So what approaches are there to create verifiable, trustworthy, AI-enabled infrastructures? These infrastructures are complex systems. So we're really talking about systems engineering approaches that need to be applicable. So this very simple schematic here shows a really simplistic standard systems engineering V to highlight the sorts of issues that we've got to think about. Along the left-hand side is the system design process of articulating requirements through to complex multi-component architecture, including now complex AI components. And once the system is realized over towards the right-hand side, it must be tested at different levels against requirements. Particularly with AI in the critical national infrastructure, this will be a life cycle of ongoing testing. So we need to overlay in the ongoing operations the emerging practices of ML ops that are needed for both current AI performance and capabilities, but also the future AI performances that we can expect. So frameworks themselves must enable this ongoing incorporation of new AI technologies and practices into the verification steps during system design and validation during system operation. So of course, such approaches are required to be built and operated from the design phase and on an ongoing basis through the life cycle of the system. So we think about this in terms of really incorporating trust by design into the system. So we've been working in this space for some time now. We've got a number of ongoing programs in the UK covering AI security and open networking approaches. In collaboration with the University of Bristol, for example, we've developed a technical framework for applying formally verifiable AI methods to certify AI models supporting 6G network functions. We've got a Sonic Labs program in the UK, which is run in partnership with the UK regulator, which has supported many companies in the Open RAN and open networking space in the UK. And we have now turned the attention of those labs to supporting the introduction of AI and verification and validation in communication networks. So I think we should be aiming to ensure that the pace of AI being adopted and integrated into the networks is matched with similar advancements in building out approaches which generate appropriate levels of trust, security, and transparency that's needed between industry, regulators, and governments. Thank you very much.